They shall deliver you up to councils, and mark my words, if I live, I believe I will be arrested within the coming year for preaching the gospel. And it says in the synagogue, even the church are going to say these people are extremists, they're going off the deep end, they're too narrow-minded. Well, my Bible said it's a straight gate and a narrow way. And would to God we would all be narrow-minded. Was Jesus narrow-minded? He said, I have the way. If you don't like it, well, you're not going in. I'm the door. He's not one of the doors, he is the door. It says in the synagogues, ye shall be beaten. That's in the church places. Ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. Note this. And the gospel must first be preached among all nations. So what's God's greatest concern right now? If we are indeed in the end times, and I guarantee you, if I said before, if there was no Bible, life cannot continue as it is. We are on a downhill spiral, like a toilet being flushed. We're going out. And the only one that comes going to claim to rescue it is the Antichrist. And people are going to say, yes, yes, help me, I'll take it, whatever you want. And they'll follow it. We're warned about that. But people need to hear the truth first. Must first be published where? Among all nations. Hasn't television and radio and the internet helped to do that? Isn't the gospel more available than ever? And yet people still are living their same lives and going their own way. What's he say in verse 11? When they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand. He said, you are going to get arrested for me. They're going to take you into the synagogues and magistrates, all that. They'll deliver you up. Take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak. Neither do you premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. Are we going to be interrogated? You know, I mean, who said these words? This didn't come from some Baptist book or headquarters. These are the very words of Jesus. And for the last 2,000 years, they could not have been fulfilled. But now they can be. God's calendar says it is the time. Peter thought he was in it. He said, the end of all things at hand. Be therefore sober, watch on the prayer. Well, he saw some of the signs. But Steve Dobosh has seen lots of the signs, if not all of the signs. Note this, you don't have to premeditate. Just go there and God will give you what to say. And note how bad it will be. Verse 12, now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents. Another place Jesus said, houses be divided 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. And shall cause them to be put to death. Imagine children saying, well, my mother didn't have a Bible. They'll be put to death. And ye shall be, I have it highlighted, ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Who are the bad guys in this country? Is it the abortionists? Is it the homosexual? Who are the bad guys in this country as far as the government's concerned? Narrow-minded Christians who don't sing their songs. And they are playing their tune, and many are following their pernicious ways. And they speak evil of the truth. And we know that evil men and what seducers would wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. When Christians are rejected, you know what you're going to find out? Who is who? Could this not be the fiery child which is to try us, to find out what we're made out of? Well, do you really love Jesus? Well, how far will you go for him? Are you willing to be put to death for him? We should be willing to die for the one that died for us, died in our place. We have to do it because we love him. But you're going to find out, it's a sifting process, you're going to find out who is saved or not. When ye shall see. Again, when this was written, it could have only applied to maybe 500 people in that area at that time. But when ye shall see, you in the United States of America shall see this thing happen over in Israel. Again, before TV and the internet and satellite, how would that have been possible? It wasn't. I said to you, think about it. You could sit in your house and see two people laying dead in the streets of Jerusalem. Is that an unbelievable prophecy given of God? When you shall see the abomination of desolation, that's this guy that claims to be God sitting in the holy place over there, demanding worship, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not. Let him that readeth understand. That always kind of gets to me. Am I reading this tonight? Well, I need to realize what it's saying. Some people have tried to understand, couldn't. Then which are in Judea, flee to the mountains, and he talks about a flight, and it is a time to get out of Dodge, as it were, to leave town. Look with me over in chapter 14 now. Actually, chapter 13, in verse 24. But in those days after that tribulation, there's going to be a real bad time of trouble on this earth. Part of the fiery trial. Part of our persecution. In the days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers of heaven that are in heaven shall be shaken. I've shared with you before 2 Peter 3 talks all about this. The elements are developed perfectly. Revelation 6 talks all about it. Then shall they say, or see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power, or great power and glory, and then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now, this gathering, who's he gathering? His people. Does this gathering take place before all the problems and the trouble? It says immediately after the tribulation of those days. Why don't people see that? Well, it doesn't sound like fun to go through that time of trouble. You know why they can't see it? Because they don't want to see it. But the handwriting's on the wall here. The Lord said it's going to happen. He will gather us after the tribulation of those days, and we will only survive by the power of it. Note what Jesus said. He's going to gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. This is, again, part of God's calendar. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. You ever been outside in the springtime and look at the trees and they start to bud? And what do you know? Summer's near. Well, just like you can see that, here there's not going to be any signs. Well, my Jesus said there's going to be some signs. Pay attention to the signs. When you see the president of your country that was supposedly Christian at one time be a Muslim and come up with this health care plan that's going to require you to get something in your hand, you know, and we were talking earlier, modern versions say, get a mark on your hand. But what's the King James say? In your hand. Is that significant? Is there a big difference between on and in? Well, in, nobody else sees it, see? On, everybody can see it. And that's what makes sense to the natural man before the days of computer chips. Note this. So ye, in like manner, we shall see these things come to pass. I believe this thing that happened in Connecticut is a picture of how evil has indeed basically saturated, taken over. And for evil to come in like it has even in the schools, what had to go out first? Thus saith the Lord. References to God. You know, I said this morning about being called of God. I think many of them call themselves atheists. We're called of God. Saul of Tarsus was called of God. He was going the wrong direction. But atheists, I believe, were called of God, and they're trying to say no. He doesn't exist. Well, he doesn't exist, then he doesn't mean anything, you know. So they're fighting God. And what's God's will for the atheist? To save him or her. That they come to know the truth. And they come to serve God like they should. But when you see these things, ye in like manner, just like you see the tree start to bloom, when you shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. If you get nothing else tonight, Jesus is saying to you, when you see these things, when you see these things, it's unbelievable what we have seen and what we are seeing in these present days. Can things get worse? Unfortunately, they're going to get a lot worse. Evil men and seducers, even the false teachers and false preachers, shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Verily I say unto you, this is the one that saw it. It's not going to be your children or grandchildren. This generation, the one that saw the beginning of it, the one that saw the budding, shall not pass till all these things be done. He said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall never pass away. That's in verse 31. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man. If anybody said Jesus Christ is going to come May 16th of 2023, well, don't listen to him or her. They don't know that. Jesus said the day and the hour. He didn't say the week or the month, by the way. Because he'd be contradicting himself. He said, you're going to know it's close, but you're not going to know the exact time. It says, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Verse 33, but he said, take ye heed, watch, and pray. I said when Peter said the end of all things is at hand, what did he say to do? Watch and pray. Turn to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Everything written of prophecy is very, very, very relevant to you and I. Look in verse 2, 1 Thessalonians 5:2. Yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, and this is the doing of the Antichrist, when they finally got all everything settled down, maybe when they've even killed the two witnesses, when they shall say peace and safety, then, what's it say? Sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman, or on a woman with child. And they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. By the way, many people concerning December 21st say, the end didn't come, didn't happen. Well, it's not going to happen December 21st. But there's things are happening right now, and more things are going to happen. And be ye also ready. And take this scripture. The Lord told me to turn today. Ye brethren are not in darkness, that that day should overtake